I am Zenobia Harris. I'm the CEO for the Kent Chamber of Commerce, and on behalf of myself, Board of Directors, and my staff, we'd like to welcome you to our March luncheon. I would say that the last time we did a luncheon here, well, twice before here, was the last time in March of 2019, and we had the mayor speaking that day as well. So we are excited to be back here at Green River. I do want to say thank you to Alki Bakery, who is our luncheon sponsor for today. That's provided that wonderful meal for you. So thank you so much to Alki Bakery. All right, a few housekeeping items before we get going. So this meeting is being recorded and streamed live on Facebook by our media sponsor, I Love Kent. And if you are a member of the Chamber, I see a lot of new faces in here, but if you are a member of the Chamber, there's a great advertising package available to you just for being a member, so make sure that you reach out to Scott. Scott, wave your hand. That is Scott Schaefer with I Love Kent. Everything News and Kent, you can follow them on Facebook. I also want to recognize today that we have our photos being taken by Andrew with Crane Photography. Here taking those pictures, so I know that you guys have seen in the last 8 months, our pictures look way different than they did before because we now have a professional in the building. No more selfie photos, so I would have to say he is the best in the business when it comes to headshots now that we are out of our mask, and maybe, I'm going to speak for myself, may or may not have added a few pounds. You may want to update your headshot. So I would say give Andrew a call and he'll take those pounds away. All right, and so last, before I go on to the program, I do want to recognize our investors. Our investors actually go above and beyond financially to ensure that the Chamber is able to put on events like this. So you'll see around the room we have different levels of sponsorships, and we just want to actually say thank you to those members who go above and beyond and invest in the Chamber at a higher level. So thank you so much. You also, if you wanted to know who they are, you can see them there on your table as well. And then now, so our luncheon, so each month the Chamber hosts a luncheon. Typically, the luncheon is the first Thursday of the month from 11 until 1 o'clock. 11 to 11:30 is actually just networking. And then our program starts at 11:30 for those of you that this is your first luncheon. Of course, we will always change that. We are here on a Friday because of our speaker wanted to make sure that I was available and she was here to give her that respect so that we can have this. So it's a different day, which normally does not happen. But our luncheon sponsor today is All Pro Building and Maintenance. They are owned and operated by Randall and Chandra Smith. They are both community advocates and give their time, their resources, and financial support to our Kent community. All Pro Building and Maintenance offers a full range of commercial cleaning and janitorial services, as well as routine and emergency maintenance solutions to meet the needs of property management, facility managers, and building owners in commercial, institutional, and also industrial markets. Their highly trained employees provide their clients with the utmost of personalized care and attention to detail while providing interior, exterior, and customized cleaning and maintenance services. Today, we have co-owner Chandra Smith, Brandy Dollarhide, and Randall Smith that will come up and give us a quick little presentation for about 5 minutes. Come on up.
Oh, I wanted to mention some spring cleaning. I know when you think of spring cleaning, you probably think about cleaning things out of your house, your closets, that type of thing. But on a commercial level, when you go back to your businesses today, I want you to look around at different things and see if you may need to call us. So when you look at the moss and the different weeds growing out of your parking lot, call us because we pressure wash. When you look at all the handprints all over your windows, call us. We do windows. And we do lots of things we do floor maintenance for carpets and things like that. So through the winter, everyone's been tracking stuff through your business. We do that as well. So there's little flyers on your tables with the frisbees and what have you, and lots of ways to call us. So call us for spring cleaning.
All right. And if you want a glass of wine, give me a call. I'm available usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And Red's is right downstairs.
Yes.
Yes.
I have my own table at Red's. It's towards the back. So.
Or you can come to our office and have it as we have a wine cooler and
Plenty of wine. We always have that.
3:30, yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, our company has been in business over 40 years. And we're still here. So we've weathered some storms. Go ahead, sir.
And you've been cleaning Kent Station for 16 years. So
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Thank So he's put up with us all these years. So we definitely love our city. We try to be involved as much as you can from running a small business, but also giving your time to the streets and things like that. I know when we went through the last recession or whatever it was, we kept everyone employed, we kept pressure washing and kept going. Very difficult in those times, but we have a lot of great clients that stuck with us, we stuck with them, and that makes the difference. For us, it's longevity. Wherever we land an account, we like longevity. It's the best for us to get people aboard and get going. And so that's what we've kind of focused on. We started doing janitorial, which kind of shifted from that to landscaping, pressure washing, flood cleanups. Last night we had a big one in Aberdeen. So we do the whole spectrum. We're from Aberdeen, Oak Harbor, we're all the way up the peninsula to Port Angeles. So that, and I right now I'm traveling those on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's why Tuesday, Thursday are wine days. So it's a long drive, and so we're trying to help out. But we have about 64 employees. And always looking to hire more. I think anyone that owns a small business now knows what it takes to get good employees and keep them. Very difficult, and with our working for us, because we work for municipalities, they have to go through a stringent background check. So we can't just hire people and put them into your facilities. So at least that gives you the comfort of knowing we have checked them out. The police have checked them out, so we do the whole check. We work within the jails in Oak Harbor, so they definitely have to go through that. We don't sub out any work. We do it all ourselves. And if we can't do it, we'll tell you no, but that never happens. So we find a way to get it done. From roof leaks. We are so kind of spread out because all our managers, property managers, call us. We get calls that people that want their cars detailed late at night. We get all kind of requests. And like I said, we normally don't say no, so give us a call, give us a try, and see if there's something we can't do. We'll put you to that test.
Not to be confused with, we are not a car detailing place.
But
Yes, was one property manager one time.
I did go out
He
there.
did.
I did go, so.
We.
Oh,
Yes.
Not me.
So, Darren, be my guest.
No, I think they've said it all, but I'd like to say we love our city. We've been here over 40 years, 40 for you, but 30 for me. And Dana, with your leadership, this city is great, as I've told you before. So we thank you, and if we didn't like it, we wouldn't be here. So
And you did great on the snow. I know we're supposed to be talking about All-Pro, but late at night, we have a snow plow now. So we do our parking lots and stuff, and we're helping our clients so they could stay safe. But one thing I noticed that I've never noticed before was all the trucks that you had out there.
That was amazing.
I mean, I didn't see people sliding all over, and there was one right after another keeping those roads clean. And that's something that I've been wanting to tell you. I was going to wait till I had a glass of wine with you and say that is, I was so impressed with that. And you look at the other cities, I don't think that they were on, and where we were going up and down the peninsula in the snow, I did not see other cities doing what we did here. So that makes us want to stay here, keep our business here, and be involved, that we have a mayor that cares. And for you, Mr. John Hines, thank you for having Kent Station here. This is our place. This is where we come. We eat here, we socialize here, and we bring our family and friends here. So thank you.
And drink wine.
Definitely.
All right, so now I have the pleasure of introducing our 2022 president, Sarah McNeish. She is the Development and Communications Director at Multi-Service Center. Multi-Service Center helps to strengthen communities throughout South King County. They address the causes and barriers of poverty and homelessness with comprehensive and holistic services that help lift people in crisis and from vulnerability to self-sufficiency and stability. With individually tailored support and resources, men, women, youth, and children can find their way out of poverty. MSC has been a member of the Chamber since 1997. I graduated high school that year. It's a great year. I am excited to work with Sarah as the president for the Chamber. She served on not only the board of directors before becoming president, but also our events committee. And for several years, she's well versed in Chamber, and she's going to bring this year integrity, candor, and creativity to her position. Please help me welcome Sarah McNeish.
So I just want to thank you all for joining us here today. It's great to be back in person. It is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker, Kent Mayor Dana Ralph. Mayor Ralph was sworn into office in January 2018 as Kent's 27th mayor and the third woman to ever hold the role. So Mayor Ralph was recently re-elected to serve her second term as mayor, which you didn't know. So why she's here. Prior to becoming mayor, she served on the Kent City Council for 6 years, serving as council president for 2 of those years. As the Kent native, Mayor Ralph is the 4th generation of her family to call Kent home. After attending Kent Public Schools, she graduated from Kent Meridian High School. During high school, she met and later married her husband, Sean. Together, they raised 2 boys who graduated from Kent Ridge High School. More than 20 years ago, she started a small medical billing firm in Kent, which she still owns, but no longer manages the day-to-day operations. As a business owner in Kent, Mayor Ralph brings that knowledge and experience to her city leadership role. We are honored to have her serve in an ex officio capacity on the board and always appreciate her advice, candor, and partnership in the Chamber's mission of creating and supporting a healthy and vibrant business community in Kent. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Dana Ralph to our city.
Good afternoon. I have so many thoughts after listening to Randall and Chandra and Brandy and Zenobia. I did not graduate in 1997, so we'll just clear the air there. I'm always up for a glass of wine. I love that that's what I think the Chamber represents is businesses working with businesses in Kent, right? Kent businesses hiring and supporting Kent businesses, nonprofits. That's what makes our city so incredible. And when we say we are Kent, that's kind of turned into our tagline. It's exactly what I mean. To Randall's point, when we started the pandemic and everybody went home, everybody remembered 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? We were all going to go home and it was going to be fine. All Pro didn't send, they kept their people employed. And Randall called me one day, he said, hey, we're just out here cleaning the streets because they're committed to Kent. Had his employees blowing out the street. I walked out of City Hall and threw that backpack blower on us, pretending like I was doing something important. We got some great photos, and if any of you know me, you know that I don't particularly care to wear shoes. I wear Birkenstocks or sandals or flip-flops. Happened to have a pair of those on in the picture, and the world blew up. OSHA. I'm like, no, that's not the purpose of this. But it was really to highlight the fact that All Pro is doing great things in the community, but people seem to be very concerned that they could see my pedicure. I don't know. I could not be more grateful to be a part of a city like Kent. We have so many amazing things going on. So many amazing businesses here and people that just have a heart for the city and the work that's being done. So last night at KM, my alma mater, Go Royals, had a chance to present the State of the City address. And today I'm just going to do a business version of that and talk about some of the amazing work that's been done over the last couple of years, that we've all been behind our masks and in our living rooms and all of those things that have been going on. It is beautiful to see so many smiles. You guys, we got about 12 more hours and we're officially, it will be optional to not be able to see people's faces, and I'm looking forward to that. Makes me feel like spring is here. I'm starting to hear the frogs outside at night. I think that's an amazing thing. I'm just really excited about what the future holds, and I think that that's all going to hinge on what does long-term economic recovery look like for the city of Kent and our businesses here. I'm going to start by asking our amazing Kent folks to raise their hand. We've got our economic development team, Bill Ellis and Michelle Wilmot, Public Works Director, Chad Beeren back there. You guys, these are the people that make the magic happen. Absolutely. super grateful to have had this team working on, we worked on things, how do we get people through COVID? What is the emergency, the crisis that's today? But always with the thought and knowing that we need to help set people up to be sustainable, our businesses to be sustainable, and to look at what the future holds. So I'm going to go through some data and statistics and numbers on some of the things we've done at the City of Kent to help those things be realized, those dreams to be realized. So this year's budget includes $2.75 million in access to capital. Think small revolving loan fund. We're working with community development financial institutions, that is a mouthful, CDFIs, so that businesses that don't necessarily have access to traditional lending sources. So if you're a new business, you're an immigrant or refugee owned business, somebody that's just starting up, that you can't just go to the bank and say, I'd like $100,000, please. It's hard to get capital, and it's that startup. There's the dream there, there's the passion there, there's the commitment, but maybe not the money. So the City of Kent is working on creating this revolving loan fund that's a non-traditional place for our businesses to get capital. Additionally, through our ARPA funding, the American Rescue Plan Act, there's just all these acronyms, and I will say them once, and then I'm going to call it ARPA funding after that. We're setting up a community navigation network. So it's trusted partners that are helping our businesses connect with resources. If you think about the relationship you all have with Zenobia, hey Zenobia, I need this or I need that, tell me who to talk to. She is your trusted partner. We want to make sure that those resources are available to businesses across the community. So we're working with Centro Rendu to provide Spanish-speaking support to our businesses. Tabor 100 to support some of our Black-owned businesses, and World Relief to support our multicultural businesses. Really just making sure that people, especially have in-language resource, that's really important to helping them navigate what's honestly a pretty complex system. Permitting process navigation and site selection. So thinking about when you're coming into a city, where do I find the best building? What resources are available? Is there a place that I can go into an existing space? Do I need to remodel? Am I going to need permits? Our economic and community development staff are working on that all the time, making it easy for businesses to locate in the City of Kent. We're working on childcare business expansion. I don't know about all of you, but every business owner I have talked to has said, I can't get employees, right? We need to get people back into the workforce. And one of the barriers to that is childcare. Is where can I take my child that I trust, that I know is safe, so that I can come back to the workforce. So we want to help those childcare businesses expand and provide more service to our community. We've got our first ever Kent Youth Employment Plan, as well as financial support for expansion of both the University of Washington and NASA's space-related education programs in our local schools. This is really exciting to me. And we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of education and how the city's working on that as well. Our business, the pandemic was hard, right? It was hard for everybody on so many different levels, and it was really hard for businesses. You all didn't know from one day to the next, can I open my doors? Do people have to stand 6 feet apart? Do they have to wear a mask? Do I have to have a vaccination card? Are we staying home? Are we coming to work? All of those kinds of things. But through all of that, Kent's business community has been resilient, and there has been a stick-to-itness. I don't know if that's an actual word, but that's the feeling that I have. We're there, we're showing up, we're keeping our employees employed, we're providing services to our community. So I've got some data about this as well. A little before the pandemic, but just shows sort of the magnitude. Since 2005, Kent Valley has added 52,000 more jobs, nearly 30,000 of them in manufacturing and logistics. Over that same period, our number of companies have grown by about 10%. What that says is that the companies we have are growing, they're expanding, they're doing well. And that to me is a really important indicator of the health of our economy. Manufacturing is our biggest growth area, and it's putting tremendous pressure on real estate costs. Any of y'all have been feeling the cost of real estate in Kent go up, right? Kent has always been the affordable place outside of Seattle. Rents are up 90% over the last 4 years. That is that double-edged sword, right? If you're a property owner, you're loving it. If you're a small business trying to get your foot in the door, it's really, really hard. But it means our economy is strong here in the Kent Valley. Industrial rents are about $15.18 per square foot. That's up from $8 a square foot in 2018. So nearly double. You would think that with costs going up, that might be an issue with vacancy rates. It's just the opposite. We are remaining stable at about 4% vacancy rates in our industrial area, even with 6 million new square foot of space added. So we've added 6 million square feet and our vacancy rate staying the same. So again, that space is being filled up just as quickly as it is being added. Lots of manufacturing jobs. We know that manufacturing's changed over the years, right? When we used to think about manufacturing and you think rolling up your sleeves and it's dirty work, it's not. It is really smart people doing really technical things. And that really is my technical term. So you can see that's where I'm at, right? But that, along with those jobs, means that the need for education is increasing. A full 24% of jobs in the Kent Valley now require a bachelor's degree. That's a pretty big number. You think farming town, warehousing, we've moved into this advanced manufacturing space, and it means that our kids need to be prepared for the jobs that are available right here. Part of that growth, again, advanced manufacturing and technology, so space. You've heard me talk a lot about this. We're really proud of the space sector here in the city of Kent. Kent is home to over half the jobs in the Washington State space sector, right here in Kent. It's about $5 billion a year in our state's economy. So, and in the country, there's only 9 areas that have space sectors. So in the nation, we're one of 9, but that requires specialized education and training. And it is everything from machinists to rocket scientists. So really making sure that we're preparing our kids for those jobs. It's going to be a theme as I go through. Blue Origin's our largest employer right now with over 4,000 jobs. And there's about 1,000 jobs listed on their website that they're hiring for. That's huge. And I get double-edged sword. I'm hearing from other employees saying, yeah, I lost this really amazing employee. They went to Blue. So we need to make sure that that's working both ways and that we are bringing up a workforce that can fill those jobs. Kent School District is our second highest employer. So again, there's that relationship between school and education and the industry that we've got going on. But we don't just have Blue in the space sector. We have Stoke Space Technologies. They just received a $65 million contract to build, I'm going to read this exactly, second stage reusable rocket technology. They have 40 employees now, and they need at least 150 in the next 2 years to meet the requirements of that contract. Huge growth. We've got satellite company Starfish Space just received a $7 million contract to develop and manage satellites and clean up space debris. So the way I'm thinking of this is we're up in space, we've been throwing all this stuff up there for a long time. Somebody's got to come around and pick up after us, right? There was a 10,000-pound rocket that crashed, right? Okay, see, business helping business, that's exactly, I love it. I love it. I'm going to make the connection between All-Pro and Starfish. They're growing, 2 employees to 40 employees. I mean, you can see the pattern here, right? Our businesses are growing. Technology is pretty incredible. At the City of Kent, we're working to support that growth, making sure that we're making the connections, helping businesses be connected with suppliers, drawing companies here and wanting to choose Kent. So a little bit more on space. You know, you've heard us talk. We got a landmark on the Lunar Rover that's up there on the moon. I mean, that's a really cool thing. And it feels like that was 100 years ago. It was 2 years ago that we did that work, but then, you know, pandemic. But there's other space-related things being made here in Kent. Parts of the International Space Station were made here in Kent. Parts of the Hubble telescope were made here in Kent. Saturn V rocket that took people to the moon, and Blue Origin is now developing the next generation space station for its orbital reef. Lots of amazing things. And the difference we're seeing is this is private enterprise. Private companies can work at a speed and a pace so much greater than what government can do. So we are seeing this technology skyrocket. There, that wasn't even planned. Outside of space, aerospace, those kind of things, we're also creating other technology here in Kent. National defense, think about some of the stuff that's happening in the Ukraine. So sad, and just want to say that we need to all continue to keep our Ukrainian neighbors, their friends and families in our prayers. So much going on there. So just please, please keep them in your prayers. Think about Google Maps on your phones, internet, agriculture, and weather. Satellites take care of all of those things. Satellites being made in Kent can monitor soil, they can monitor snowfall, drought, crops. Farmers use that technology on when do we water our crops, when do we plant our crops, when do we harvest, and then it comes full circle because Kent has a really robust food manufacturing base, and so all of that food that's being produced with the help of those satellites comes back here to be packaged, created, and sent to other places. Had a really fun opportunity to tour ConAgra Foods. They make the little McGriddle waffle pancake things with the little pockets of syrup in them, and they send them all over the world right here from the Kent Valley. So lots of cool things happening. Talked a little bit about college and that 24% of businesses requiring employees to have bachelor's degrees. There's also multiple other paths that our students can take to sustainable family wage jobs, to really good jobs. We know just at the baseline, there's all this growth happening. We need people that are in the construction trades, electricians, welders, builders, plumbers, accountants, all of the things that support that industry. And that doesn't happen alone. We've got some great organizations here in Kent that are working to get our students prepared, right? It used to be a conversation, four-year college or nothing. That is not how it works anymore. There is amazing career paths. We've got a new Aerospace Joint Apprenticeship Committee, an acronym, I'm going to say AJAC, so we know what that is. Center for Advanced Manufacturing, Puget Sound, CAMPS, Women in Manufacturing, First Robotics, STEM Path Innovation Network, and all kinds of others that are coming together to get our kids interested in paths forward to sustainable, really good paying careers that might not need that four-year degree, right? Putting them on the path to fill those jobs that we've got here. If we're not training our own community, that means that we're bringing people in from someplace else. That means commuting, that means traffic, or it means that our businesses have to go someplace else to find that talent pool. And that is all counter to everything that we want to have happening, right? We heard some statistics recently that only 9% of the 256,000 jobs in the Valley, that their commutes originate here. 9%. That means that 91%, there's my math, are coming from someplace else, right? We need to flop that. The things people said that they liked about the pandemic is no commute. Well, if we can make sure that the jobs are here and we've got the educated workforce here, we can keep that no commute. People can work where they live. It's really, really important. Another thing that's going to help attract people to work here in Kent and maybe inspire our youth, inspire people to look at new careers, we have some say when it comes to things like what does an environment look like. So our Rally the Valley initiative, I'm sure some of you have heard us talk about that over the last couple of years. It's really about making an environment that people want to be in. Right now, you drive through our industrial valley, there's big concrete walls, no windows, no idea what's happening inside. There's some cool things happening, but you can't see it. There's no signage. There's no, where do people see the sunlight? Anybody love sitting in a room with no windows? Certainly not my favorite thing. So through Rally the Valley, we're encouraging development to provide all of those human scale opportunities for people. Access to trails. Can you grab coffee on your way in? Can you go to the dry cleaners, a beer after work, daycare, all of that stuff. We want to make sure that people know that they can live, work, and play all in the same area. And that's why Rally the Valley is so important. In 2021, we received an award from the governor through Department of Commerce celebrating the work that we did in Rally the Valley. So we're really proud of that, and we're starting to see the progress happening coming out of that. Attracting business is also going to be key, right? How many of you have been through the permitting process, the business licensing process, all of those steps? Don't throw anything at me. I'm going to tell you, I know as a business owner, right, I've got to get a license from here and a permit from there and all of those kinds of things. City of Kent has joined a regional consortium for business licensing, so it's one portal. You can go in, put all of your information in, and for those of you that operate in multiple cities, you can get business licenses for multiple cities. We want to cut down that time. And our permitting system. So permits are required. It's part of the city's job to make sure that as building is happening, we're following all of the federal, state, health and safety guidelines, all of those things that are not so easy to track and follow. I mean, let's be honest, it's a complicated system. In Kent last year, 5,100 permit applications, 2,700 of them were major projects. So more than a hot water heater replacement, that kind of thing. We've issued 4,300 permits and we've significantly reduced our backlog. And one of the ways we've done that is by activating our new permitting system. It's called Amanda. And it allows people to apply for permits. We've got the new home permit system set up and running. You can do it from your office, from your couch, from the beach, wherever you're sitting. You don't have to come to City Hall. It really streamlines the process, and we're seeing it cut down the amount of time that's required in that permitting process. We're going to continue to enhance the capabilities of that, add more permit types, and make it easier for people. We want to help you develop. We want to help you grow and locate here in Kent. So those are all things that we're doing on the City Hall side to help that. We're making enhancements to the Permit Center website so that you can find things easier, and we are in the process of finalizing a building permit guideline for business owners. So it's really geared towards people that are new to permitting in the City of Kent. It's a way to communicate with them, their contractors, real estate agents, and just walk through the process beginning to end and what it takes to apply for a permit, and also set realistic expectations. Right? This is how long it's going to take. These are the things you're going to need. We feel like education is really, really powerful, and we're going to be doing that in multiple languages as well. So excited about that and the outreach to our businesses. In closing, I want to say a big thank you to Zenobia. I know she's back there somewhere. There she is. The Chamber has done amazing work over the last 2 years to keep our businesses informed. Education is power. I think that that's really important to make sure that you all knew what it took to, where the resources were. There was money coming, but how do I apply for it? How do I not apply for it? What do I need? All of those kind of things. We're working, there's planning is underway right now for a Know Before You Go workshop that will help empower businesses with good information about what to expect as they're going through permitting processes and licensing and all of that kind of stuff. Only want to strengthen our partnership with the Chamber and keep going with the really good work that's been happening here in the City of Kent. So that was a lot of words, but I think it's good information, and I'm going to now open up for questions, and I saw Randall's hand go.
Yeah.
Is there wine involved? I think that's the first question.
That's always. The question is, and you touched on it last night, we had to leave early, the Kmart over there, that's been a project, a lot of people knew something was going on, but it was a project, can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, we are super excited about the redevelopment of the Kmart property, so it's over here on Washington. I can remember my mom taking me there as a kid, so it's been there a really long time, and I didn't graduate in 1997, so there's some math. The Kaiser Permanente bought that property, so they are going to be building a multi-story clinic there, so a great healthcare option here in the City of Kent. For a long time, Kaiser's only footprint or group health was just the small clinic up there on top of the hill by Home Depot. So I have heard stories for years about our residents that have Kaiser having to go to Tacoma or Redmond, or, you know, when you're not feeling good, the last thing you want to do is go sit in traffic on 405. So we're really excited about Kaiser coming in there, working with our Public Works Department on some traffic improvements to that area. It's a great extension of our Meet Me on Meeker project. If you haven't driven down Meeker lately, got beautiful wide sidewalks and trees, bike lanes, places to sit and hang out. Really want to expand that promenade feel that we have going on there, and Kaiser is going to be a great addition to all of the work that we've been doing, as well as bringing more of those jobs, right? Those high-paid jobs, benefits, that kind of thing, and just improve the look and feel of that neighborhood. So, fabulous question. Thank you.
So, I have a question about crime. My wife and I were at Big Five up here on East Hill a little while ago, and a couple of gentlemen came in and loaded up their arms with all kinds of stuff and just walked out, and the employee said that the police won't come. And so I'm just wondering, is there anything that can be done about, you know, obviously I live up on the East Hill here, and you know, what can be done, because obviously we want to feel safe.
Yeah, no, that is an important and hard question all at one time. So there's no secret crime is going up in Kent and Auburn and Renton and Federal Way and Seattle and all around the region. I have to be worried about what's happening in Kent. 4 or 5 months ago, I got a phone call from my son. He lives not too far from me, 7 o'clock in the morning, and he says, Mom, my car was stolen. My truck was stolen. He had it 6 days. I will tell you, as his mother, I wanted to start crying, and as his mayor, I was furious because it's not okay. We are in a place now through a variety of things. COVID, taking good eyes activity off the street, police reform. You've heard the chief and I talk about this a lot. 100% understand the intent and support the intent and reason for police reform, but we do believe it went too far in emboldening and empowering bad guys to continue doing bad things and has tied the hands of our officers. And then on the other side, we're not keeping people in jail, right? They're not making it through the court system. So all of these things come together. We are absolutely seeing increased crime. Along with my other South County mayors, we spent a lot of time talking to our legislators this session. We do think we've seen some incremental change to some of that police reform. I haven't sat down since last night, since session ended, to look through all the bills, but we do think that there's some hope that we're gonna maybe get to that balance that we need, but there's some truth to that, right? Our officers cannot pursue someone for stealing a cartload of stuff from Big Five.
I'd like to add something to that, just from a retail perspective, is that a lot of businesses, including a lot of national businesses, are not engaging in pursuing anybody that steals, or making contact with an individual, or detaining an individual to be prosecuted. So even if the store is not even going to enforce that policy, it's really hard for the
and
police.
That's when the police come and say, do you want to press charges? Do you want to go? And the business says hands off. It's just, like I said, it's a perfect storm of.
Yeah. And that's, I think a lot of that has to do with companies' liability for their own employees and their safety, and not endangering their safety. So it's really tough out there, and it's really a difficult situation.
So I can tell you, we're not taking yes or no for an answer. I don't know what's the best way to put that. We're not okay with it. And so we are going to continue to work on enhancements to the reforms to make sure our officers can do the job that they need to do. We are going to continue to push our King County prosecutor to do the right thing and prosecute people when they've gone through the system and they've committed a crime. They need to be prosecuted, and there has to be a consequence, right? We've lost consequences, and that's a huge problem for us. Staffing in the department, in our department, as well as departments around, is at an all-time low for a variety of reasons. Officers are leaving the profession, they're leaving the state. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I can, off the top of my head, I think that we still have 20 openings, but we've hired 17 officers since last November. So we are hiring, right? We've increased the pay. We've got incentives for in-state laterals. So if they're coming from another department, we can get them on the street that much faster. I don't think we've seen the end of the leaving, but we are starting to see the increase in hiring, and that means a safer community.
And I also, kind of on that, I wanted to say, he was saying that they won't come. I believe that they do come. They do police reports. It's hands being tied after that because they can't pursue.
that is a really good point. So and so that combines what you said and what John said. We've got retailers that we know are not going to do anything. So there is no sense in attempting to, and then we cannot pursue. So they get in the car and they can drive away, and they know that, right? The network, the bad guy network is strong. I don't know if what they're using to talk to each other, but they know. So it's a continued fight. We are doing hotspot emphasis. So we had a lot of issue with violent crime up on West Hill. We took a lot of our resources, moved them up there, spent a couple of weeks just sending the message to the criminals, this isn't the place to do crime. And we've seen an improvement. We're now currently working on, and I know that you all know, the 7-Eleven at Willis and Central. That's our focus, this whole area downtown. We're working with our public works department, closing off some of those alleys, doing things to improve that neighborhood, and presence with our police department is one of them.
I just want to commend you on what you're doing. I just feel that when we're talking about police officers, we can't put the blame on them. Again, the crime is up. I think that the city, we need to get together with these retailers, because it's their responsibility and they have the resources to hire someone at that door. I believe if you have someone at that door, a real security guard, not the $2, that they will not come in there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I do. I think it is.
It's
It's the messaging and presence. I had an interesting conversation with the mayor of Issaquah not too long ago, and Issaquah's passed an ordinance that is looking at holding the retailers responsible for allowing the theft to happen. I don't have all the details, and I'm a little uncomfortable, so I don't want anybody to run out and say, this is what Kent's doing, not going. But I think there's got to be a better way to partner with the businesses to encourage everyone to be doing the right thing, to not just throw our hands up and say it's okay and let it happen. So we're looking at options and opportunities there. It's other cities are seeing it, and they're, like I said, not super comfortable in saying that that's the solution, but I think it's that kind of thinking, right? How do we work together with our businesses, especially our retailers, to combat that?
Yeah, because not to take up too much of the time, but the point, like we're saying, you know, when you're up here and you don't understand what's happening here, it's a network. It's a network. They know each other. They know you. And, you know, again, if the retailers come together and put that security at these doors, they won't show up. Trust me, I guarantee it. I put money up there that they won't.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you have to try to convince them.
A lot of crime is committed out of opportunity.
Correct.
Right? If it's easy, is my door not locked? Is my car open? Am I carrying my purse and not paying attention to it? You know, it's opportunity. So it's up to all of us to figure out how to take those opportunities away. Yeah.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Last one, and I always have a lot.
From you.
Yes.
We'll see about that.
Panther Lake is getting a new kidney center up there,
Yes.
and how did that come about? How did they pick that spot right there?
Available property, access to freeway, all of the things that make a lot of Kent really great is accessibility, right? So I've been knowing that was coming for a long time, but it was featured on the news this week. So
I think it's awesome that we're getting, you know, and maybe we'll get more traction up there.
and that's what it is, right? Is one business, because then everybody going to the dialysis center is going to need someplace to eat, someplace to shop, someplace to, you know, pick up stuff for their kids, get gas. That's exactly how you grow the economy is that one step at a time, that key business locating. Kent Station's got some great new businesses coming. Super excited about Daiso. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Daiso, but it's a fabulous store that's coming. Downtown, we've got Game Castle coming. It's going to be a place for people to gather and play games and that kind of thing. It's just one business creates another business, and that's how we grow the economy. On that same newscast, you guys, this is really random, but bear with me. On that same newscast, I was watching in the month of March, Cadbury eggs, you know, the like Easter eggs filled with the stuff. They do those, you've seen those great commercials where the lion roars and it's supposed to be a bunny. They're doing a search for this year's Cadbury bunny. And I'm watching the news, and then I heard him say Kent. That's why I turn the news on every morning. I'm like, what am I going to learn this morning? And usually hoping that it's going to be positive, like the dialysis center. On the news this week, I learned that of the 10 finalists for the Cadbury egg, there is a bearded dragon from Kent that is one of the finalists. So it's Cheeto Puff the Magic Dragon. And I think a 2-year-old bearded dragon lives here in Kent. Little bunny ears. You can go to Cadbury Eggs, vote for Cheeto to be the bunny of the year. You can vote every day between now and the 22nd. And I am telling you, I need that bearded dragon to win so we can bring him to a council meeting, you know, introduce ourselves. I just think it would be fun. So please vote for Cheeto Puff the Magic Dragon.
Thank you.
This is not as fun as that topic. I drive from West Hill to East Hill. I'm Shannon. I work at Vine Maple Place. We work with families that are experiencing a housing.
We're so happy that you've got physical space in Kent.
We're really happy to be here to have found that space. So let me tell you all know it's hard to find space in Kent. We love kids. We love families. And when I drive to work every morning, I drive past River Ridge Elementary School. Ridge, and there's just a boom of apartment buildings watching those kids walk from those apartments to that elementary school though, no sidewalk is a tough thing to see.
So I am going to I'm looking straight to the back of the room. I'm going to put Chad Beeren on the spot because we are working, that school is actually in the city of SeaTac.
Okay.
It's a Kent School District school, but Chad can give us a little bit of an update on some of the things we're doing on that walking connection. Sorry, Chad.
No. And I'm happy because I get to deliver good news, which is, so the school came in and what we originally been told was that the school was going to be a bus-only school, but it opened as a bus and walking school immediately. And as the mayor mentioned, it's a Kent School District school, but it's in SeaTac. So mostly the city of SeaTac's been working with the school district to construct a sidewalk. It'll be coming the next year. So excited to have that.
Yeah, definitely a safety. It's a little bit uncomfortable to drive through there and see the kids. So
We do have one section in Kent that we're going to build, but it'll all get built in the summer.
That's good.
thanks, Chad. John.
You touched on Ukraine a little bit, and am I incorrect in remembering that there was, Kent was associated with the sister city in Ukraine?
Yeah, so Kherson was our sister city
Kherson,
for
okay.
many years, actually one of the first cities to be captured by Russia in this conflict, in this war. We have a park that's over across from City Hall, that's Kherson Park. That sister city relationship dissolved, and it was a variety of, change in folks there, change in folks here. We're actually in conversation now to establish a new sister city, Lutsk, I think I'm saying that right, in Ukraine. And I was supposed to be meeting with that mayor about 3 weeks ago. And think about that, right? The trip, I got a text that said, yeah, there's some things going on and I probably shouldn't leave my city. And so he was not wrong. But we're working on reestablishing that. Our Ukrainian immigrants were some of the first in sort of our time, right? We had a very large Japanese American population in Kent back when we were still a farming town. But the Ukrainian population, that is one of our first large immigrant populations here in the city of Kent. Late 80s, early 90s, we had a couple of churches that had direct relationships, and so our Ukraine population, they're a huge part of this community. They're a huge part of who we are, and that's why I think it's so important that we really find ways to support our neighbors because they're going through a lot. So we're able to. This means nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it makes me very happy. We changed the lighting under our underpasses, under our 167 underpass, as well as at the 4th and Willis roundabout, to blue and yellow, and just as a way to show support. So, when did you pop in back there? I didn't see you. Council President.
Madam Mayor, I want to go on record and say you are a great mayor. Can you tell us what is it you like most about your job?
Oh, well, thank you for that, Council President. I'm right back at you. I love that we get to work together. You know what I like about my job is this. I like getting to stand and have conversations with people, learning what they need, learning what's important to them, and finding solutions, bringing a team together that can find solutions to create that. I am so proud of Kent. We have our flaws. Right, there's no place that's perfect. But as far as I'm concerned, Kent's as perfect as it gets because of the community that we have. It's people coming together and taking care of each other, businesses, residents, kids, all of that, and just getting to problem solve and then being able to say, we fixed that. That to me is probably the coolest thing about this job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Other questions? You guys are letting me off easy.
I have a statement. I want to say thank you on behalf of Rap Youth. Our kids love you. Because you're a mayor that is transparent and you don't mind getting out in the community. Even with the breakfast at the senior place, you showed up, you always supported, and it was exciting to see that you're touchable. So we wanted to say thank you for that.
Tasha, thank you so much. I love the kids that you serve. During the pandemic, we were looking for ways to reach out to especially our kids to figure out, what was going on, what was on their mind. We had a lot of things happen in pretty heavy conversations that were impacting our kids, and RAP stepped up and opened their doors, and we held a couple hour long conversation just talking about, what was on the mind of our kids. A lot of conversation around police and community relationships and how do we strengthen those. I know PD is working with you guys on some projects, and I'm just really grateful for the work that you're doing in the community.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Other questions?
Yeah. See, there I go. I'm thinking, Naden property, that's the last question.
Yeah.
What's going on over there?
I am very excited about what's going on in Naden, and I am a little bit anxious that I may say something I'm not supposed to. So I'm gonna look back here. We've got Phil Ellis in the back, and he can give us the most up-to-date what we can share report on Naden.
I'm rehearsing a presentation for council on Tuesday this afternoon. So what I can present is that we've had a memorandum of understanding for the last 13 months with Avenue 55, which is the team industrial development team. We chose to work with them because we wanted to bring some high-wage employment into our downtown. We are obviously well known, as Mayor mentioned earlier, as a manufacturing community. We want to solidify that a little bit, have more of those types of jobs, that type of presence, visible to 167, visible here in our downtown, walkable places like here in college. So the development team has a list of interested parties now in the development site, and so that gives them the confidence to proceed to make a proposal to council, which they'll do in a couple of days now. That will seek authorization from council for entering negotiation for a development agreement with the developer to land those tenants onto the location. We've been talking to a lot of STEM education groups as well. We're looking to try to have the very best possible manufacturing campus that advertises the great tech valley that we have, and also makes investments into the future of making that a more inclusive industry. So I don't want to say too much more than that, Mayor, because then I feel like I'm stepping in the background of those in the development team.
There's good things happening, Randall.
Okay.
We're excited about it.
Is good.
Yeah.
We work for them. So.
Yeah. So it's going to be a game changer for our downtown. I think regardless of which of the opportunities settle there, it's going to be a huge change in a very positive way for our downtown.
Any timeline on when we'll have the opportunity to know more about the Naden facility?
Hi, Elsa. Well, first, council would have to vote on Tuesday, and then what Avenue 55 is proposing as of this morning is a 30 to 45 day period to negotiate final price, and then there's a schedule to, of course, go through entitlements and then construct over the next year and a half to 2 years.
You're very vague.
Thanks for hanging in. Gotta get that city council to act. Now I'm going to say this back, and not just because he said nice things about me. You guys, your city council president is a rock star. I am so excited to get to work with Bill on a daily basis, and as he guides the council and helps them through their decision-making process. We've got a fabulous team, and I'm really, really grateful for that.
So when you talk about teamwork, can you speak a little bit about Kent 101 coming back? Can you speak about missions?
Absolutely. Thank you, Carmen. That was a fabulous question. We'll start with Kent 101. So Kent 101 is coming back in April. That is our multiple week, 8 or 10 weeks of basically civics, like what happens in the city. So we start out with a session on administration and what does that mean, what's involved in the office of the mayor, our clerk's office, that kind of thing. We have a presentation from our public works director and our parks director, police department, court, law. It's basically everything you needed to know about your government and how it works, finance and budgeting and all of those kinds of things. It's really is a fabulous class. It's going to be in person again. So grateful. It was really hard to do over Zoom because you couldn't see if people had questions, and so we'll be back in council chambers. Registration is open. You can check that out on the city website and sign up. Fantastic class. We also have our Kent Citizens Police Academy open. That's coming back in April. Another about 10-week course where you get to learn about everything that the police department is doing. So we bring in our experts, our neighborhood response team, our SWAT guys, K9, detectives, and you get to see what they're doing and meet them. And the biggest, most important part of that, right, is just getting to understand your officers are people and they're here to serve, and they love the job that they do, and they're doing it really well for the community. And then the final piece is boards and commissions. The city has several boards and commissions they're citizen volunteers, so they do things like land use and planning. It's recommendations to the city council on where do we build industrial, where do we build apartments, where do we build single family housing, all of those kinds of things. I will caution you, that's the board and commission that got me standing in front of you. I had no interest in government until I started doing that. Fast forward, here I am. Fabulous committee. Parks Commission helps us with all of our parks programming, Human Services Commission, Arts Commission, lots of opportunities to be involved, and you can see all of those opportunities on our website and social media. Thank you for the commercial. Okay. Any more questions before we turn it back over to Zenobia? Okay. Thank you all for taking the time to come today.